Is your phone off?
Yes.
Good.
This is Tommy. I don't know what to do anymore.
We lost so much good stuff. I'm an idiot. Yeah, we might as well just go into it.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob. This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
You're so angry. Hi, everyone.
Yay.
I'm crying.
Well, I'm glad that my pain can bring you pleasure.
It was just how you introduced yourself as this fucking Jacob.
Hey, guys. All right. Pull it together, man. Pull it together. Pull it together. All right. Hey, welcome, everybody. Today is a review day. And I guess we have promo, so you probably know what it is. I just realized that. If you guys don't know what it is, hey, we are doing 97's Mimic.
Not to be confused with The Mimic, which I kept doing.
Oh, because I came out
more recently.
Yeah.
The Mimic.
I actually,
Mimic, yeah.
This another movie came out this same year called The Relic that I think people kind of confused it with, but The Relic's more about a weird lizard just being released.
Okay.
From an ancient relic.
Like a lizard god. Okay.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, so Mimic.
All right, yeah. Directed. Oh, wait. Oh, well, okay, it's got a 6.0 on IMDb.
Yes.
It was released, actually, it was in a Fanta festival in Italy first on June 1997.
Yeah, it was kind of like Splice.
Yeah.
It was released and then re-released.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. And I think that's because of Guillermo del Toro, but I just slurred his name. I'm gonna slur his name. I'm just gonna call him Del Toro.
I was gonna say just call him Del Toro.
Yeah.
Is it the double L that's getting you?
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah, Guillermo del Toro.
Toro. Yeah. So we'll just call him Del Toro.
And then it was officially released United States August 22nd, 1997. It was number 81 domestically and worldwide for box office.
Oh, okay.
What?
Nothing. You can keep moving.
I did have something. I noticed something in the worldwide that I found interesting is that this is a little side tangent because the number 2 movie worldwide that came out in 1997 was the movie Bean. About Mr. Bean.
Mm-hmm.
So
I sit and watch.
Yeah. So domestically, it made 45 million. Foreignly, it made 205 million. So it's number 40 something in the domestic stuff. It's just I was looking, I'm like, wow, Mr. Bean just does not have an audience in the United States.
No. People don't get it.
I know, and it blows my mind because it's so funny. I love Mr. Bean.
I love Mr. Bean.
But yeah, that's a side tangent. But also, again, we did do this while Fifth Element, give an idea, movies that came out this year, top 5, Titanic, Men in Black, Lost World, Jurassic Park, Liar Liar, Air Force One.
Best Friend's Wedding was up there. I was like, oh, really? That's really up there. But yeah, Del Toro is known for such titles as the original Hellboys 1 and 2, Pan's Labyrinth, Pacific Rim, Shape of Water is probably the most recent thing. He is doing a Pinocchio, which I'm really curious about.
And also, all these movies, he generally doesn't direct anything that he didn't write. Mm-hmm. There's I think the only thing on his list is PT, the video game.
Oh yeah, I forgot he did that.
Yeah. Really quick before we move forward, did you want to do your quick Tommy synopsis?
Oh yeah, kind of tying into because of Del Toro's filmography that he does. Is that right? No.
Yeah.
That is right. Okay. A run-of-the-mill big bug creature feature that is missing master monster maker Del Toro's iconic secret sauce.
Secret sauce? What's a secret sauce?
He's just a good monster maker, and this didn't really do it. This didn't feel like one of his monsters.
Huh. Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Because think of Hellboy. All the iconic creatures, Pan's Labyrinth, the Devil's Backbone, Kronos, so on and so forth. Yeah.
I mean, all of this was designed by, the creature was designed by him.
I didn't feel it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't feel his fingerprint.
Well, I think that might be what happened with the editing.
Yeah, that's what I think happened.
But yeah. Yeah. So
and also, I wanted an excuse to say secret sauce.
Okay. I found a recipe for the secret sauce in Good Burger.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I really want to make it. Anyway, all right.
I think that came out this year.
What?
Good Burger?
What do you mean came out this year?
In 97.
Oh, it may have.
I think it might have come out in 97.
It totally did come out in 97.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's funny.
Nice. Good call.
I was like, wait a minute. I know because I think I saw it on the box office list.
As a fucking flop.
Yeah. That movie was great.
Oh, yeah. I was
not
watching
Neil Patrick Harris. Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, the bad guy?
The bad guy made reminds me of Neil Patrick Harris.
That's funny. He also looks like the lead singer to Sum 41.
I actually don't know what he looks like.
Lead singer of Sum 41?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like that guy?
Okay. Like the guy we're describing. Anyway, sorry.
All right, yeah. So going back, so like I said, Del Toro, Pan's Labyrinth, Pacific Rim, Superwater, Hellboy, Crimson Peak, I want to point out because that also was written together with the other writer for this movie, Matthew Robbins.
Yeah, they seem to be buddy.
Yeah, which is also interesting because Matthew Robbins, I only have like his 80s and 70s stuff really kind of highlighted on here. Like Dragon Slayer, Batteries Not Included, Corvette Summer, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, but that's also Guillermo del Toro as well. So it's like he kind of like stopped doing stuff after Mimic.
Took a break,
and then only started working with Del Toro. Like something, I feel like something happened through. Like I feel like there's some juice that we can't find. Some Hollywood juice.
It's the more Hollywood secret sauce. I mean, you've never seen Crimson Peak, right?
No, I've never seen Crimson Peak.
Yeah, okay.
From the trailer that I watched, it looks crazy as fuck.
It's a very, how do I put this? It's a very visually driven ghost story.
Yeah.
And it's got some great jump scares, but it's not very scary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are some moments you're like, holy shit, and it's because the monsters, like the ghosts that he makes are pretty terrifying. But I don't want to say what the big twist at the end though.
Yeah.
It is one of his weirdest movies. He does some weird shit. It's very bizarre.
I mean, I would assume it was probably not very well received.
It wasn't received well, but I think was
it critically received?
I actually don't know. I never looked into it. I know that audiences, but I think if you're a Del Toro fan, then you'll like it just because of his weird. It's like what's his name that does Metal Gear.
Oh, Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, like if you like his shit because his shit's weird, like you'll like this. That's Crimson Peak. Anyways, I just wanted to throw out to that.
But yeah, so Matthew Robbins. Apparently just him and Del. I mean, there's a couple of things coming out that Robbins is like a name is attached to as well. So, but I also
it might just be his like. I'm just thinking about it. Like it might also just be his soundboard. Someone he just has a really good time bouncing ideas off of.
Well, and he's kind of older because I mean, like Dragon Slayer, Batteries Not Included. Those were like early '80s movies. Corvette Summer is like '78. Dragon Slayer is Legend Before Legend. Kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it weird like Legend?
It's set. No, it's not. I mean, it's in a fantasy realm because the guy's killing a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's just like it's kind of got that aesthetic. It's like
okay.
or like Willow, kind of.
Okay, more like a Willow.
Yeah.
Kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd be into that.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it for like an '80s fantasy.
Yeah, I like '80s fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Corvette Summer stars Mark Hamill and Annie Potts.
What?
And it's a comedy adventure.
Is it good?
I actually haven't seen it.
Oh, that'd be fun to do.
Yeah, actually,
we want to do it '80s.
Yeah. But I do. So also, this movie is based on a short story.
Oh yeah. We don't want to. Yeah, we want to get into that.
Yes, written by a sci-fi writer, Donald A. Wolheim. And I actually got some information on him because he was apparently kind of iconic in the sci-fi scene.
I also just want to point out, very loosely based on his story that he wrote in 1942.
Yes, very loosely.
Very loosely. Because I read it. And
I
was like, how'd you fucking get this movie?
I have a note on why it was kind of like that. in a way.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
So
Take us away.
but yeah.
Take us on a
so
journey.
first let's talk about Donald A. Woolheim. I was finding a lot of stuff I could like compile up, but it was a lot easier for me to just like pinpoint stuff off of Wikipedia. Right? And all of this stuff I was like, dude, you could find it the same like stuff,
same article,
yeah,
but this
online,
it's just on.
Yeah. So
That's the thing with Wikipedia. You just got to make sure you find the source.
if you can find
if
the
you can
source,
find it,
yeah.
then it's like cool.
Yeah. All right. So this is from this is a description from the Encyclopedia of Science Fiction calls Woolheim one of the first and most vociferous science fiction fans. He published numerous fanzines and co-edited the early fanciful tales of space and time, which is one of the first like sci-fi like short like collection of short stories and whatnot from in the 60s and stuff. Woolheim's first story, The Man from Ariel, was published in January 1934 issue of Wonder Stories when he was 19.
Oh.
Woolheim organized what was later deemed the first American science fiction convention when a group from New York met with a group from Philadelphia in October 22nd, 1936. And out from this meeting, plans were formed for regional and national meetings, including the first Worldcon. So, like, we can thank this guy for our conventions, like cons and stuff. Like, that's actually kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Robert Silverberg, who he is also a sci-fi writer and editor, more prominent in the 60s and 80s, I want to say, said that Woolheim was one of the most significant figures in 20th century American science fiction publishing, adding, a plausible case could be made that he was the most significant figure, responsible in large measure for the development of the science fiction paperback and the science fiction anthology and the whole post-Tolkien boom in fantasy fiction.
Huh.
Like, this guy's like an underground science, like a science fiction, like god.
Yeah. Oh, weird. How I'd never heard that name before.
Well, I mean, also like this, like he's got like a bunch of short stories, and it's like he was an editor for like these zines more than anything.
Yeah, it's like,
And he has like only I think he has 9 novels that he wrote, and then a collection of short stories.
Well, yeah, and it's just like, it's just weird because it's like, when I read the short story, I was like, oh, this kind of gives me like a Lovecraftian kind of feel to it. And what everything you're saying right now, it's like he's on that level of famous, you know. I mean, fucking Lovecraft has a whole show, Lovecraft Country. I totally forgot about that show. Fell off that one. That's crazy. No, he's just like, huh.
No, that's what I was saying. It was like, that's when I was doing my research, I was like, then I went down this guy's rabbit hole. I'm like, Jesus, there's so much. And it got me really into, it's like, it also made me started to realize just how much like science fiction literature there is from like the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Oh yeah.
Like the just like short stories where it's like, there is just like probably pages just waiting to be retold to modern audiences. Who knows how much like Black Mirror is basing some stuff off this, you know, or like taking it and be like, oh, well, let's like if it was now, this is what would be happening.
Yeah,
type thing.
that'd be cool to get a collection of his work.
I kind of want to do. I'd
be into that.
like the fanciful tales of space and time. Definitely kind of want to like find some stuff like that.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're like collectibles, like that'd be expensive or hard to, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's a book, so it depends on what like print edition it was, and I'm sure you could find one. I mean that would be worth a lot, but
yeah. So like I really wanted to give a good shout out to Donald A. Woolheim because of, you know, being what I mean, without him we don't have Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. So yeah. Do you want to move into who this movie is starring?
Sure, let's do that because I don't really know a lot of them. I don't really know a whole lot of them.
I mean, really, in my opinion, there's 2.5 to 2 kind of 3 that are really like noticeable. So to begin with, it's like the lead star of the movie is Mira Sorvino, which I honestly only would recognize her from Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. She was was she Romeo or was she Michelle? You haven't seen it,
Mm-mm.
which also that blew my mind when I was like, you've never seen Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion?
Mm-mm.
It's such a great movie. It's so fun, so stupid.
When did it come out?
98, I want to say.
Oh, really?
Or maybe it was. Oh no, I think maybe it came out the same as this year. She had a really big 94, 95, 96, 97 type thing. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I have seen The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
So she's in that. I've seen Final Cut. She's in that. She's in Hollywood, which watch that. But I don't.
Yeah, she has over 100 acting credits.
Yeah, I don't know what.
And
she's never.
And she won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in Norma Jean and Monroe, which is a story about Marilyn Monroe and like her dual personality with her drug addiction and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she does really good. She's one of the only good things of this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And then next would be Jeremy Northam, who I don't, he's an English actor. I don't know.
Cypher in The Crown.
I didn't recognize him I haven't seen those things, so I was like, I literally don't think I've seen anything this man has been in.
He reminded me of somebody, like another actor. I can't think of who it was now.
There's another actor with the first name Jeremy, and I can't remember his last name, who I thought this was when I was reading it. I was like, oh, that's totally not who this is.
Yeah.
And then Giancarlo Giannini, who I recognized him immediately as one of the detectives from the Hannibal movie.
Yes, I recognize him from that on Quantum of Solace. I remember.
Yeah,
him from that.
I forgot that he was one of the. He's like an ally to Bond, right?
Ally, then not ally.
Yeah.
Ally, then turned enemy.
Well, he's in a couple of them. He's not just in Quantum of Solace. He's in Skyfall too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's also in Spectre for a short minute. No, maybe not. But yeah, he's
in Man on Fire. I don't remember him in Man on Fire.
He's an Italian actor. Yeah, he's an Italian actor.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
He does a really good job in this movie as well.
Yeah,
he's just a great actor.
I've never seen him so young, and he's not young in this movie.
That's what I was like. I don't feel like it. Well, he looks the same in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he looks really young to me. And then I guess the last one, and then we have Charles S. Dutton. I think are like the four main.
Well, I mean Josh Brolin as well. Because he's supporting, but he's kind of like Josh Brolin, Avengers as Thanos, Deadpool 2 as Cable, No Country for Old Men, Goonies, Man in Black 3, the horrible remake of Old Boy. What?
No, it's just and then Charles Dutton, Cat's Eye, Alien 3, Secret Window.
And also, what's weird with Charles S. Dutton is that I see him and I'm like, I've seen you in movies.
Yeah, no, totally right.
I'm like, I don't know what movie it is, but
it's like that one guy, I think he's Irish, the guy with the scars. What is his name?
With the scars.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know who you're talking about, yeah. Yeah, he's always playing kind of a villain, but it's like
he's always like the goon or like the bad guy of some.
Yeah,
He's been in everything for the last like 20 years, but I don't know what his name is. I'm like, yeah, like I can name a couple movies you were in, but I don't know what your name is.
Yeah, exactly. And was that it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the main.
Yeah, that's kind of like the main's
because like pretty much most of them.
Because like the kid didn't really
hour.
Yeah, the kid didn't really do much, and then
his name is Alexander Goodwin.
Yeah,
just to throw it out there.
Chewie. Which I think like I remember watching this as a kid and thinking like, why would they name a kid after Chewbacca? Like, because I was like 10. I'm like, what?
I don't get it.
I'm not cultured yet. Yeah. So before we get into reviews, just really quick, I have this is kind of like what I was talking about. So like this movie from the story to film what Del Toro did. Like he more took like an inspiration of a creature. Yee. And I found this really cool website called monsterlegacy.net that has like it literally has archives of just like someone like just doing deep research into like the history of like like xenomorphs and like the Aliens franchise and Yeah. And like all
shout
like,
out to this. This is cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I don't know how recent it's been updated, and like it's really awesome. I really recommend you guys like check this out. Like, yeah, here you go. Like,
And oh wow, and it's all alphabetical.
yeah, it's all alphabetical, and it's like so like yeah, and it's like I don't know, like it's probably like articles that they've like compiled to kind of give like the history of this stuff and whatnot, and I found a quick little like excerpt from this. It reads as the original Mimics short story written by Donald A. Wollheim and first published in 1942 was wildly different in both plotline and tone to Del Toro's film adaptation. In it, the narrator recalls a grotesque and mysterious man in a black coat in his neighborhood. When this figure is found dead in its apartment, it is revealed to be a gigantic insect evolved to camouflage itself among humans, mimicking their appearances. And then like kind of goes and like it goes into an excerpt from the let me read that real quick. This is an excerpt from the short story of Mimic. At first we saw a man dressed in a somber, featureless black suit. He had a coat and skin-tight pants. His hair was short and curly brown. It stood straight up in its inch-long length. His eyes were open and staring. I noticed first that he had no eyebrows, only a curious dark line in the flesh over each eye. It was then that I realized that he had no nose, but no one had ever noticed that before. His skin was oddly mottled. Where the nose should have been, there were dark shadowings that made the appearance of a nose if you only glanced at him, like the work of a skillful artist in a painting. Like, do you want me to continue?
No. I'm just reading.
Yeah. So like,
I like this website a lot.
Yeah, this is really
cool.
Yeah.
monsterlegacy.net. Shout out, you guys. That's cool. It's a cool idea.
But yeah, so like it's definitely like it even kind of goes into like later like it explains like the creatures and like little creatures start flying out and they look like little humans with wings and it's like weird and terrifying.
It's cool.
You said you read it. You read the short story.
I read the short story.
Or like some of those like is that kind of like is it more of just like a depiction of like someone finding this like weird creature or is there like a horror aspect to it?
I was a little
all right.
I remember the ending, and I remember like the whole thing just gave me a very like I said, Lovecraftian feel.
Yeah,
but it wasn't boring.
Yeah,
Lovecraft is fucking be fucking boring.
Well, I mean, the language of Lovecraft is just very
old.
Yeah,
it's like a textbook.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very. And then they went down the pyramid.
That read much more like an actual like story, a modern story.
Yeah, I do. I was like, it's very Lovecraft, but it's like it's more artful, I guess, is a way of putting it. It's just more fluid and has better pacing to it than just Harold went down the stairs. He took a left, then he took a right. Mm-hmm. Before him was a grand pyramid. The pyramid was made of stone. You know, it's like, oh my God.
What kind of stone?
Yeah, it's just like, Jesus.
Were there paintings? Because what was the grass like?
I have a whole Lovecraft book, and I tried reading it once, and I was like, I can't do it. It's the same thing with Lord of the Rings. I'm like, I can't. I can't sit through this.
As they crossed the plain, the grass swift in the wind. Each individual blade seemed to have a character of its own. Sorry.
That's even better. That's better.
All right, what reviews did you find?
I went with my boy as usual because I'm always very curious, especially movies that I hate, and I'm like, what? I also think about it. I didn't hate this. I was whatever about it.
Yeah.
So I went with Ebert because I just thought it was funny. There's a sense in which Mimic is exactly the same movie as Event Horizon, which is exactly the same movie as The Relic, which is like other movies, was descended from Alien, which itself was the child of a well-established horror tradition. And I went, correct.
I like how he brings up the Relic.
Yeah, right. That's what I was like. Oh, weird. One does not attend, and then this is actually kind of like more of a thought about it. One does not attend Mimic, hoping for more than a few new twists on the old ideas. Such movies like thrill rides at parks works every single time if they have been well planned and constructed. And I just like he just goes on and on about like it's like there's thrill ride.
It's like there's stuff that's there that is like cool and fun, and
yeah, it's like, and I like that. It's a ride at a park. Like you go just for the ride of it. Like, yeah, whoa, that was okay. James Berardinelli, I think is how you pronounce it. Sorry if I'm totally butchering that. From Real Reviews, Mimic does an excellent job of imitating not only aliens, but several other science fiction horror features, including such odd choices as Leviathan and The Thing. The derivative results is, as I might expect, moderately entertaining, but far from groundbreaking in approach or execution.
You know what's interesting in all of this? Not a one of them brought up Frankenstein.
I see what you're saying. I think it's a little too far.
They're playing God. They're creating something that becomes out of control.
Yeah, but it's like they weren't attempting to, like, not like Splice. They're not attempting to make an actual, like, humanoid creature. This was just an accident. This was actually just an accident.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you just want to put the idea of Frankenstein and just like creating a humanoid type thing, they're playing God. They created a new species of bug.
I know what you're saying though, but the thing with Frankenstein specifically is the human aspect. You feel bad for the creature. This is a big bug.
I see what you mean with that. Yeah,
it's like there is no connection to us and the creature.
Well, you may not like my review.
Okay.
On that note, should I go into my review?
Yeah, let's see.
I just bring it up a little bit, but all right. Ever wonder what would happen with New York City if its entire cockroach population was exterminated and you used a genetically engineered bug to do said exterminating? Well, then Mimic is the movie for you. Mimic is a sci-fi horror from the 90s that has everything from a great idea to not the best execution. Based on a short story from a classic science fiction story of the same name, Mimic has a haunting premise. What if a bug evolved to mimic its predator, humans, to then become the predator itself? What Del Toro does in this is then add science fiction and the Frankenstein method to explain how a bug could evolve generations in only 3 years to become monsters attempting to replace the human race. What the movie falls short on, though, is its age. The movie feels like a 90s sci-fi movie and lives as a 90s sci-fi movie, mostly due to special effects. The monster design and in-camera effects work beautifully, but once the movie leaned into the CGI, it began to look flawed. The large bug creatures stand out like a sore thumb, clearly not blended into the world. However, the horror of the movie carries you through to the end. Ultimately, the movie is about how we shouldn't play God and genetically engineer living creatures. We don't know the repercussions it could have on humanity, or just New York, because everything happens in New York.
And I never put together, it's like Men in Black.
Jesus, yeah, kind of.
It's like
minus the aliens, though.
Big cockroaches.
Yeah.
But intelligent cockroaches.
Mm-hmm. No, it's like definitely, it's like Del Toro, he got an inspiration of a creature.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, okay, so...
Yeah, but then when all Alien 3...
Yeah,
but the special effects, like specifically.
Oh, yeah.
When they just stick out, like you can
that's
see
also
that's
that's got to be like budget restrictions, you know? Because,
I mean, yeah,
because sci-fi horror at this time was not taken seriously to have like big special effects, like whatever Lucas and them use. You know what I mean?
Oh,
what's the name of it?
What? I'm totally blanking.
Yeah, we're both blanking super hard. It'll come back to us, but.
Magic Mike Movie Productions, no.
Magic Mike? Channing Tatum? What? But yeah, it's just like they weren't really taken seriously at this time, especially in the mid-90s, where a lot of them weren't getting like good special effects artists. I mean, because horror was like, you know, or the sci-fi horror was like, what can you create in camera type thing, you know?
Yeah, especially the sci-fi horror at this time, because horror was like, you know, 90s is a lot of horror in the 90s.
I think like the mimicked man walking around, like the way especially the way that they like shot the shadows with it, and like it would come out of the shadows, was eerie and creepy and looked good. Like it looked like something that I could believe that with like a camouflage aspect, that if that was to be walking down a New York City street, I would just assume it's a man in a black coat.
Yeah, you might miss it entirely.
Yeah, you know?
I mean, I'm glad too that Del Toro has been able to start making stuff
for himself more.
Like the fact that and that's important too. Like this is his first real big studio production that he got after his success in his own independent movies, and they brought him over and they're like, hey, like we want you to do everything, but then they put him on a leash basically, and we're like, reel it in. It's like, well, you brought him here to do what he does.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
but I was just
all
gonna
they
say,
had was like Kronos as like an example, really, like on what he does, like movie wise. You know what I mean? Like feature film wise.
no, well, because
Yeah,
I guess, yeah,
I mean,
Kronos
well,
is like the one.
because I mean, he had a couple of shorts and then like that TV series, but like obviously, like once he started making films in America, and then he has to learn the American.
Well, just like there's Mimic in '97, then nothing until Devil's Backbone in 2001, which is
like 5 years.
He's probably like, fuck that, and then he went back into Devil's Backbone, which is awesome.
I've never seen it.
Man, you have not seen a lot of Del Toro.
I haven't seen a lot of Del Toro, actually. Yeah.
Oh, he's awesome.
I was realizing that. It's like I've seen Mimic, Hellboy, Pacific Rim,
Blade 2,
thank you, and
Like,
Shape of Water.
I'm like, you need to get out if you've never seen Blade 2. Like, how have you never seen Blade 2?
I haven't seen Hellboy 2.
Okay.
I don't think I have.
You've never seen Pan's Labyrinth either.
No, I've seen.
Crazy to me.
When it came out, I remember my girlfriend at the time, she was super into it, and like we would like put it on, but I would just be like late after work and I would just fall asleep to it. So like also it's all in subtitles as well, so I need to like actually like focus to watch it,
And I think maybe that's also where, like, when we were talking earlier about how I felt like this didn't have his thumbprint on it.
I mean,
his thumbprint.
It doesn't feel magical in a way.
Yeah.
Or fantastical.
And I think that also because I have watched pretty much all of his stuff, that I have a very particular idea of his work that I like.
I would definitely, from what I've seen of his work, this one really leans more into the horror aspect of the story and whatnot than most of his others, other than like well, I haven't seen Crimson Peak, but that sounds like a straight up horror movie, actually, or like ghost horror movie.
Well, yeah,
but,
and so is Devil's Back. Well, that's the thing, is like you kind of actually, now I'm looking at it,
I've only seen like his more like fantastical artistic ones or like action ones.
I was gonna say you've seen his kind of more mainstream big productions that he's done, not his own personal style.
Other than like The Shape of Water, which is a beautiful movie. I fucking love Shape of Water.
It's weird. That's what I'm saying. If you like Shape of Water, you're gonna like Pan's Labyrinth. You're gonna love Devil's Backbone. You're gonna like Crimson Peak. Like that's what I'm saying. If you like Shape of Water and how fucking weird it is, all of his those 4 titles are all really fucking weird, and they're all beautiful. They're all really cool.
Yeah.
Like the ghost in Devil's Backbone is horrifyingly beautiful.
That's awesome.
It takes place after the Spanish Civil War at an orphanage.
Oh,
the ghost is a little boy.
Oh.
And the way that his design is fucking terrifying, but it's really cool.
All right.
Like, this is, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruin it for anyone.
Yeah.
But all those movies, watch them if you like Del Toro. I'm telling you, you're missing out on like some of his coolest shit.
Well, let's get back on Mimic.
I had a thought.
You had a thought?
And then we had that tangent. And now I forgot it. It was about your review, about the monsters. And then I said Alien 3. And then I was like, I was just going to say that I like that he now is able to make movies in this day and age with the special effects that can be created.
Oh, yeah.
Because his visions can just be so much more realistic.
More elaborate.
And more elaborate.
More
and
detailed.
And he has a very elaborate mind when it... Because like, look at Hellboy. All the creature designs are awesome. I mean, obviously he has a team for that.
Yeah.
But he has an idea, And I love, too, that he becomes, like, obsessed with his creatures. Like, he did Hellboy, and then he's like, I want to do an entire movie, basically, about Abe Sapien.
Yeah.
Because I love the look of Abe Sapien and what he is, I like him. I like Del Toro.
Yeah, you do.
And he's cute. he's a goofy-looking guy. I think he's cute.
Did you want to talk a little bit about what you dug up? Or do we not want to worry about that?
Oh, it kind of goes into this. So the douchebag Harvey Weinstein was one of the producers on this, and something I discovered, and it's one of the reasons that this movie is kind of what it is. The reason the movie is what it is.
Well, we didn't watch that version though. We watched the director's cut.
Yeah, but there's still like parts of it that
fair.
Are that just like he had what he had.
Yeah, that's true.
To work with.
Yeah.
But apparently, Harvey is also known as Harvey Scissorhands because he is very good at going into movies post-production and utterly destroying them.
Making the needs to be like this. This is the movie.
Yeah. So, he just kind of goes and screws everything up, and he's a douchebag.
Which we're leaning into like because both of us were kind of like I'm feeling from you is like we were both very underwhelmed by this movie.
Yeah, it was very underwhelming. Like it wasn't Johnny Mnemonic bad where I was like I can't watch this. I just was very uninterested in everything going on.
Like the most like probably I was most invested with Mira Sorvino's character, Susan Tyler, because like she's a great actress. Like she's actually a really good actress, and she did the best that she could with kind of like I feel like the script is a little for Del Toro like could have been better.
Yeah, and
but also I don't know. That could also be the editing that happened too.
Well, and it goes into that. This is just a risk you take with the sci-fi genre if you're not going to really do your homework about it. The pseudoscience,
yeah,
that you have to like create, and it works for fantasy.
Yeah,
you can make up whatever the fuck you want.
Science fiction.
You kind of want to, like
it's like they splice. So you want to actually just lean into what the movie is about now?
Yeah, I was going to say because even like James Gunn in Guardians of the Galaxy, he actually talked to people at NASA.
Yeah.
About the physics of space and how to like make it as realistic. What did he call it? Not a science fiction, but a science. God, I can't remember. But he had a term like I don't want it to be a science fiction. I want it to be
a science nonfiction.
Yeah, like science reality. I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, yeah, that's not a bad one. Science reality. Yeah.
Yeah, like he wanted to make it as grounded in what we know of space. But anyways, but yeah, let's go ahead and just talk about this.
So yeah, essentially. The movie is about them creating this bug called what was it?
The Judas.
Thank you. The Judas
strain.
The Judas beetle.
The Judas.
It's like the Judas effect.
Why do they call it Judas?
Is it Judas?
Did they ever explain that?
Like, I brought you some myrrh. It's murder. Judas, no. Have you not seen that TikTok trend either?
No.
Oh my god.
God damn it! Do they ever talk why they call it Judas?
I mean, it turns on him.
It's true. I mean,
no, they don't really explain it.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah,
Is that the expression?
Yeah, that's not bad. All right, so it's New York City, and there's this like contagion that's killing like all the children in New York City. And they're finding that it's like being spread through cockroaches. So
it's the Danny DeVito disease.
What?
The penguin.
What?
Remember that's his whole plan
to kill all the children
in Batman Returns.
Oh, I don't know, man. I was like, what disease does Danny DeVito? No. What? No, what? What?
The penguin wants to kill all the firstborns. And
yeah.
I just thought I'm having fun with the matching letter thing right now. The Danny DeVito disease. Master monster maker. Just have fun with that. Right?
You're having fun with alliteration.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word.
All right, so Dr. Susan Tyler, she's brought in, and like she's like, there's this dramatic scene at the top of like all these children all like sick, and she's like crying because they're dying, and well, I mean, it's kind of sad when children die, I guess, but.
If you had to twist my arm, I would say it's pretty sad.
And so she creates this, genetically engineers a bug, a creature, playing God, creating something, makes it like evolve generations quicker than it should ever fucking evolve somehow.
And like the whole thing is like this bug is gonna secrete some kind of hormone that's gonna make the cockroaches' metabolism faster than they can
actually eat or whatever. It's just gonna kill them. Yeah, it's just gonna kill them. It's gonna exterminate.
And that's the pseudoscience thing. Like, okay, sure, whatever. We'll take that, I guess.
And but also this bug is only supposed to have a lifespan of like 100 some odd days or something. Like it's not supposed to have any females to breed.
It's only females.
Oh, that's right. It's only females. There's not supposed to be a male for it to breed.
Clearly, they never. Jurassic Park was out by this time, guys. They saw it. These scientists. If this world is in our world, they saw that movie, and life finds a way, y'all. All right,
Jeff Goldblum.
I love that. Actually, that's actually really funny. Jurassic Park had been out for a couple years.
Yeah.
By the time, like,
because Lost World coming out this year.
Yeah, but I mean, like, these doctors would have seen Jurassic Park. Just makes me laugh. Like, hey, wait, maybe that's where they got the idea from. Like, wait, we could genetically, what could go wrong?
Exactly. Play God. But so they release the bugs, and then it wipes out the entire cockroach population. Which also, do cockroaches actually have any type of like eco-friendly thing? Like, are they like? I feel like when you eradicate one thing, it affects the ecosystem. You know.
I think, don't know this because I'm not a bug expert, but I would assume they like they eat garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So they're helpful in that way, and they also would feed other things like rats and stuff that also like I think that because I can't remember what country, but they actually use cockroaches for that specific purpose.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
They have vats of cockroaches that they just let, and they can like eat plastics and shit.
Oh, crazy. So I mean, like,
don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
Snapple fact, everyone.
Fair.
Snapple fact.
Snapple fact.
But I think I mean, you eradicating anything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and also that's the thing that she kind of brings up. It's like we don't know what we did. We don't know what the effects this is going to have on the world, type thing. Like, I forget exactly what she says, but she brings up something like, we don't know the repercussions of what we've done. Until later.
Yeah, I do like that. I like that she's very aware of that.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's almost like you could tell like she was maybe like had her arm twisted and like
it's a greater good kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like
let's fix it now, worry about it later.
Yeah. From Dr. Peter Mann. I didn't realize his last name was Mann. Oh my God.
Dr. Peter Mann.
Peter Mann.
Peter Mann. Why is that funny? Anyway.
I don't know.
But yeah, they work on this project together, and then
they fall in love,
and they get married.
And the movie fast forwards 3 years later.
Their chemistry was okay.
Yeah, and he actually wasn't that bad.
No, he wasn't bad.
But I actually, you know what? It's like, yeah, like he's an English actor, so there we go. That's I just never seen it. I have no point of reference of like what he could like his range.
Like, was he bad in this?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I always have that fear. Never mind. I always have that fear when I watch foreign movies.
Oh, because you can't really understand the language. It's like we're reading subtitles. Like, is it really a good performance or not?
Yeah, like is this believable in the
I feel like
the native tongue?
There's definitely like an emotion, like a way that the actor is like carrying themselves or presenting themselves with
body language and tone and everything.
Like, I mean, think about Old Boy. That he's clearly killing that role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, they fall in love and.
Well, I mean, we don't have to talk about that anymore.
Okay.
We can go into like the bug because it's 3 years later, and all of a sudden it introduced that there is now this monster with the like Asian priest jumping off the roof and then getting drug underneath into the sewers or whatever. So there's something under New York, and it's not a turtle.
We all float down here.
There, yeah. Actually, I was thinking about that.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
So you kind of like find out that like Susan Tyler, she's like has like a bug exhibit, and she's working with, she likes bugs, and she's buying bugs from kids.
She's Grissom
from
CSI.
Oh,
we got it. You like bugs? You're weird. Daniel Tosh.
Yeah, I guess this is like
this movie doesn't really pick up until like the last hour.
Yeah,
it's about 2 hours long, and I like at an hour is when it really like.
It's like, and like
like,
I also
right, here we go.
I read a little, like I found actually the differences between the director's cut and the original. And the director's cut, it was more Del Toro adding in the human aspect of it. So it's like he added in them the birth or the what are the pregnancy test, birth control test,
the birth control test.
I mean that's another name for it.
Yeah, it's not working.
The birth control test. God damn it,
that's funny.
The pregnancy test of him finding it and like being like, oh, so they're like that secret is there for us to know as the audience with him.
So that wasn't in theatrical?
That wasn't in theatrical.
Seems important. That seems like an important thing to have in it.
A little bit of the dialogue with him when he's like, yeah, here's this like aphrodisiac because I want to get you pregnant. And she's like, oh, that's pee.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, there's like a weird like the beginning of this movie, or like they're trying to set up the introduction of the bugs and like the mimic giant cockroach. The reveal of it is kind of cool. When she's in the subway, like the full reveal of it.
Yeah.
Although the CGI is not the best, like I said, like the CGI really like sticks out this movie.
And I guess like we didn't really like the way the camouflaging themselves. Basically, is their wings kind of look like a trench coat from like to hide their limbs, and then they have these little mandible hands that they put over their heads that kind of resemble like a blank man's face,
a blank canvas of
like
a human
where
face,
eyes would go or lips would be.
Remember, like kind of like what I was just that little excerpt from the Mimic short story.
Yeah,
you know.
Like very much like that. So it's like if you were in a light room looking at this thing, you would know it's not human. But in a quick pass by, like we didn't really like. How does it camouflage itself? It can't see me. Peekaboo.
If I can see you, you can see me.
Yeah, this movie's an entire violent peekaboo game.
It's like Schrodinger's monster.
Schrodinger's?
No, that's
what is that?
Schrodinger's cat.
No.
Oh, like there's a cat in the box. Does it exist, or is it alive or dead? You don't know. Or does it exist or not exist? Because you can't see it. Does it still exist? Or is it still alive or dead? Just because it's in a box, or is it even in the box? It's a paradox.
Oh. If a tree falls in the forest with no one around, does it make a noise? Is that what it is?
Kind of, a little bit like that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I guess, I mean, you get introduced to Manny and his son Chewie, and Chewie is clearly, like, on the spectrum somewhere. And you get Josh Brolin's character, Josh, who is like the partner with Dr. Peterman. Who is, they work for CDC?
Yeah, Center for Disease Control.
Yeah.
CDC.
So, like, anytime that there's, like, they get called into the basement of this place where there's clearly some type of contagion happening, and they're finding, like, little remnants of this bug, like, spreading.
Yeah.
And, like, making its home there in the basement of the church, and then, like, further down into the subways and what subway are, like, what would you call that? Catacombs, in a way?
Tunnels?
Yeah, the old subway tunnels that don't get used anymore. Yeah. And then you get introduced to Leonard, the cop, who's played by Charles S. Dutton, and he's gonna be the guide later on. It's like so okay. I guess like the inciting action of this movie, I would say, is when the kids bring the bugs to Susan Tyler.
That's when she realizes she fucked up.
Yeah,
she's like, oh.
So like also like the whole like I hate this whole like reaching your hand into the unknown. It's like come on, like no, you know there's a bug in there. You don't know what kind of bug it is. You're a bug person. Don't put your hand in the bug box with the bug that you don't know what the bug is, because you don't know what the bug can do. Bug.
Is this residual from Splice?
A little bit, yes. God damn it. And it's just in so many movies, and I'm like,
it needs to be. It's a trope that needs to be gone.
Yeah, I mean, this is all the 90s. I mean, it's not really a trope that much anymore, I feel, unless it's a bad movie. Just like, Anywho,
we are going to die.
Exactly. And
like, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
No, I thought you would do the movie. I was like, really? You got it from that? Nice. Temple of Doom.
Oh, I haven't seen that so long.
It's the lever when the spike wall's coming down. He's looking through the hole. We are going to die. And she's reaching in, and there's all the bugs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The centipedes.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like bugs. I don't like bugs.
I think it's one of my favorite Harrison Ford moments, just because his face is just like, there's a lot of tension in that scene. Like, oh my God, pull the lever.
All right. So she gets this bug from these kids, and like she just kind of leaves it in the box and just like, oh, whatever, I'll look at it later, while she's like with her friend, like talking. I think that's kind of a foreshadowing of like bringing out the male whatever because of what happens at the end. Oh yeah, so she gets the bug out of the box and she pulls it out, and it's a giant fucking roach. It looks like a giant fucking cockroach. Like literally, by like to give you like think of a Monster can. It's bigger than that.
Yeah, I would say that's about right.
Yeah, it's like fucking huge. And she's looking at it, and it like attacks her hand and like tries to bite her, and then she like was like, well, now I gotta kill it. It's like, why didn't you kill it when you first saw it? And she notices like when she stabs it, it like releases some like hormone like fuzz or whatever And she realizes that she like compares it. She's like, oh, I've only seen this with one other bug. And she compares it and she finds that it's from the Judas bug that they created 3 years ago. And she's like, this thing's evolved. This can't be happening type thing. Mm-hmm. And so now it's like, well, now we need to fucking find some more of this to really figure out what's happening. So then we can get rid of it because this isn't cool. And then somehow just because of evolution, it's like the humans are its enemy and it evolves into mimicking humans. And like, there's like another giant bug is found in a waste management thing where Norman Reedus is like, "Yep, I remembered. I got like it's not a mammal. It's got more than 2 legs or 4 legs or something."
What was the other? Oh, 8mm. I'm like, random ass Norman Reedus cameos.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is before he was like before Boondock Saints, before he like popped.
Yeah. Totally.
And it's all
like they find the dead one. It's so big they think it's a dead child.
Yeah, in the sewage.
Yeah, they're like, oh shit, like we found a dead kid, and then like, nope.
Which also they fucking killed the kids. Like when I like the first death is the Asian priest,
mm-hmm.
and then the next 2 deaths are the 2 kids that sell the bugs.
Oh yeah,
I was like, holy shit, like, they're killing kids.
I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. Why didn't that not register until you said it?
Who cares about kids?
I got a pickle.
Wow.
Little rascal.
Yeah, I know. Just imagine killing all the little rascals.
Why?
I'm talking about killing children, and you're like, haha, little rascals. I'm like, Anywho.
But they take them out.
Send the cockroaches in.
Send the cockroaches in.
All right. So it's all leading to pretty much like the final act of them crawling through like the old subway tunnels where a bunch of these like the actual like fully evolved like mimic human cockroaches are living. This is a weird movie to talk about.
The fully grown Judas.
Okay, moving forward.
I don't know what that was.
Neither do I.
It was a notification for something, but I don't know where. I guess Mike. I don't know. Anyways,
so this is when like the body count starts happening, pretty much. So Josh Brolin's character gets killed, and
it was useless anyways.
Yeah,
he didn't really do a whole lot.
Then they get trapped. It's like they get trapped in a subway car, and like there's fight with the bug.
I think it's like weird to talk about because then it just falls into the monster chase scene thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing really interesting that goes on. It's just we gotta get out of here, basically, And it has that tension that, I know we've already said it, but Alien, that the trapped in a small confined space with no way out. It just becomes that.
Yeah, like I said, like with my it keeps you, because of the horror, the tension of the horror aspect. It keeps you like interested, like, oh, how are they going to get out of this?
Yeah.
What are they going to do next? And and then like the reveal of the male insect.
Yeah, it was kind of like tongue in cheek though.
Yeah, what do you mean?
She just goes, the male would be light brown with a slender frame and no wings.
And then boom.
And then he shows up. You're like,
well, that was also foreshadowing from like the termite colony that she was.
I know. I was like, look. All right.
Well,
if you weren't aware, there is going to be a male at some point that is going to look like this.
This is also very on the nose type of 90s movie as well, with just like the writing in it is very generic. It's very much it's following a formula. It's set up to release? No. What's the word I'm looking for? Set up to reaction or set up to thing? I'm failing super hard.
Every week you just hear a poet. It's just you need to write a book. Cause and effect.
Yeah, pretty
cause
much.
and effect movie. A domino effect.
Yeah.
This is going to lead to this.
Well, but I'm also like the foreshadowing where it's like, oh, this is definitely going to be a callback later to like something that's actually going to be like a plot device,
Yeah. Something. Well, let's just get to the end because then we can do our final thought because there's like I want to bring something up, but it's kind of out of place right now.
Essentially, like everybody dies except for Dr. Peter Mann and Susan Tyler
and Chewie.
Oh, and Chewie, yeah, which I don't know how he survived. why the bugs didn't kill or eat him.
He was just chilling.
And maybe because he's communicating with his spoons.
I thought that was gonna be a thing.
I did too, but it was like
I'm wondering if that got cut out because that was they made such a point of that.
I know. Yeah.
So basically, Chewie, one of his
he repeats the sound that he hears.
Yeah, and he plays with spoons.
Yeah,
like,
he sees like he hears a rhythm and he's like
yeah, and so they really leaned into this like idea because even then she tells him to stop doing it, but as soon as they show up, he starts doing it. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, is he communicating somehow with these? With clicks,
he's mimicking them.
Yeah, I was like, oh, interesting. And then they never touch base on it. Yeah. I'm like, that would have actually been kind of interesting. I mean, it would have been also pseudoscience of like, sure, give the kid spoons. He can talk to him, like whatever. But it'd been like interesting. Like, oh, like he's mimicking the mimics. Oh, interesting, cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, they just kind of. I'm wondering if that was
brushed over.
I'm wondering if that was in there.
That was one of the Harvey Scissorhands thing.
Yeah, like I wonder if that got chopped out. But yeah, the kid's just alive in the nest of these man-eating. So like,
Dr. Peter Mann, he blows up like the entire female colony in a really, really action ridiculous way of like there's no way he's gonna jump into that water before that explosion takes him out as well.
A couple things about that. So yeah, he gets into like the colony, the heart of the colony where all the eggs are. And it was very like, I appreciated they put them on the ceiling because otherwise it would have been way too alien. It would have been like hard alien. And I was like, you're going to blow up the gas line in New York City?
Yeah.
You're going to take out like
blocks
and blocks. And then I was like, that's not going to work out. And sure enough, pandemonium when he sets it off because
New York's in
like shambles. Like fucking
Del Toro was paying attention to detail there.
I was like, there's no, that's like, you're gonna, I mean, greater good, you're gonna kill the bugs, but you're gonna take out a couple people like by doing this. Like manhole covers are shooting off fires. Complete pandemonium. I was like, okay, I'm really glad they didn't just go, it was self-contained in this one room with the it's like, no, that's gonna spread.
Boom!
Yeah, like he blew up like a city block, but you know, he kills him.
Yeah, so but it doesn't kill the male. The male's then now
pissed and burnt.
Yeah, half burnt face and then coming after Susan Tyler, and she then plays chicken with a subway car.
That was pretty badass. Not gonna lie.
She's not going to survive that. There's no way she has like the speed and timing to avoid not getting hit by that goddamn subway car, in my opinion.
From all your experience running head onto a subway.
I used to race trains. I'm not lying. I used to jump on trains.
But it was pretty badass. Yeah, so it's chasing after her, and then it gets flattened.
And then it gets ran over and decimated. And then the conflict is over.
And I was very surprised the conflict was over.
I think the original ending, it was alluded that they might still be around.
Yeah, I thought like we were going to see one more shot of like a man in black.
I mean, it kind of like hints like Peter's coming out of the subway tunnel with his blanket. Like you see like the figure of like what could be.
I was like, that looks like it could be one of them.
And I mean, it still could have been one of them. Then he was just walked right past it up with the blanket, because there are 2 sequels to this movie. Hey.
I don't know. And they're all like 4.2.
Yeah, I know.
They just get lower and lower.
I think they were direct to video like stuff.
Oh yeah.
They didn't have theatrical releases. I'm pretty sure.
Straight to VHS for those.
And then and then they're happy like, oh, she finds him and he's alive and she's alive, and they hug and he's like, you're pregnant, and she's like, oh my god.
And then like I was like,
and then the kid on the spectrum just like holding on to them like, did they adopt this child?
Yeah, like
now?
It's their pseudo child now. Like
okay,
like just because grandpa's dead doesn't mean you get to keep him. Like just
legal channels. A stand-up joke of just like having their kids at the park and whatnot, and then all of a sudden look down and it's another kid that's not theirs, like holding their hands like, oh my god, what the, like, I love you, like, no, I don't, go away.
I once hugged a strange woman at Disneyland and called her mommy.
Did you think it was your mom actually?
Yeah. I just felt my mom tap me on the shoulder.
Like,
I was like, huh? Look up, I'm like, you're not my mommy.
Were you scared and embarrassed?
Yeah, I remember being very embarrassed. Everything you described makes you think of that show Breeders on FX. You haven't seen that? It's a dark comedy about parenthood.
Oh,
with a British couple.
Oh, interesting.
And it's actually pretty fun.
Why is it called Breeders? Okay.
It's funny though.
Oh, yeah.
Because they bred and had children? I don't know.
Yeah, like you said you had something you wanted to bring up.
Oh, I was just going to be like the final thoughts of this episode, and then we'll let you guys go. But it's like the complete... I think what it is, too, as a viewer, I'm not really into big bug monster stuff very much. Mm-hmm. The complete lack of human...
Other than Starship Trooper.
No, well, because that's just stupid. It's awesome. Fucking eating brains and shit. Like, that movie is ridiculous. Like that, yeah. Like I like that one because it lives in its own world of ridiculousness, and then
it's a satire.
Yeah, like and I think it's pretty funny. Speaking of Neil Patrick Harris, but I find myself very uninterested when the human element is completely out of there. Like. Once it became just these are these giant insects, their purpose is to eat, reproduce. That's what they do. It's like there's no driving force that interests me.
It turns to man versus nature type thing.
Yeah, and I'm just like like anaconda. Oh, big snake. Like okay, like whatever. Like
yeah, but it was a big snake.
Jaws. I mean, I like.
Yeah, but it's a big shark.
but it's a big shark. Like,
yeah, but it's a big
okay,
bug.
that's a good way of putting it, actually. Like, with you saying, like, Starship Trooper, like, zombie beavers.
But that was a zombie beaver.
I like that. It's ridiculous. You know, it's stupid.
Well,
black sheep.
It knows what it is, yeah.
Yeah, black sheep, you know, zombie sheep. Like, I love that kind of thing. But when it comes to this, I'm like, I just can't take it seriously. And when it's trying to get me to, I'm like, unfortunately, this is my least favorite Del Toro. This is the only Del Toro movie I've seen that I just didn't like.
Weren't really. And,
nothing saved it for me to be like, well, like even like Crimson Peak isn't a very good movie, but it has aspects that I'm like, visually I like it. Like I like the look of it. Like this, I was like, it's whatever. Like this would be for a Del Toro fan, I said you can skip this one. It's not really because it doesn't even feel like him to me.
Yeah, it totally doesn't. I actually had no idea really for a long time that it was him. I just knew about this movie from the 90s called Mimic about weird mimicking cockroaches that I remember watching and I was like, and like I think like I said, it's a movie that lives for the 90s. Like it's kind of a testament for the 90s.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah.
If we piqued your interest, watch it. If you don't care, don't. We're
not here to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it to people in the right circles.
Yeah.
Like
if you like creature features.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, it is for a creature feature, it works. It does what it does.
Yeah.
It does have some really bad editing choices. Like, dude, oh my God. One thing that it just rattles in my head is when I clearly hear a post-production voiceover edit into something and then it having like zero like motive or like emotion behind it. Oh my God. So when they're in the laboratory and like the windows flies open or something and they're like, oh my God, close the window. Oh, I'm trying. Oh, it's so hard. What's happening? I'm like, this is like the interference of the noise around them. Their voices are so clear that it's like, this is clearly coming from a voiceover. This is like
they just realized, we need to put something here for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, and it's just like, and there's no like, okay, like you're getting wet. Like it's like, oh, I'm trying to get out. I can't get it. It's like, oh, I'm trying. I can't. It was like, it's flat, just like said. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is like after this is like Harvey Weinstein, like you're gonna come in and you're gonna do this stuff for me. And they're like, okay, fine, and just like read the lines. Cool. I don't care.
Can I go home now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Like I got paid for this. I don't care about this movie anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care about you. Blech. But yeah. I
was reading somewhere that he wanted to fire Del Toro.
Yeah, probably.
And then Mira was like, you fire him, I walk. And also apparently she was dating Tarantino at the time. So he was like, if you fire him, then I won't do anything for Miramax anymore. And like they were like, okay, never mind. This is just something I heard. I don't know how true it is, but I like the idea of
rumors from Hollywood.
I just like the idea of Tarantino being like, "Do it, I dare you." Fucking dare you. I just like that idea.
Where do you rate this?
A wet mogwai.
A wet mogwai?
Not a gizmo. Not a wet gizmo. A wet mogwai.
I think it's more of one that's eaten after midnight. It's turning into a gremlin.
Yeah, maybe. But
It's
a
like-
mogwai?
Well, it's a mogwai that's eaten after
It's
midnight.
about to turn into... No, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's because
Okay.
that's how they turn into gremlins.
No, I'm just trying to think of how to,
Because it's not.
how to do
It's
that.
not quite a gremlin. You
Just
know.
imagine Gizmo with a drumstick.
Well, I mean, yeah. He chows down on those drumsticks.
Is that why I'm thinking drumstick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because literally,
Why am I-
there's literally a scene in Gremlins where he's like, he's like eating like corn on the cob typewriter
Oh,
style.
yeah. I was like, I don't know why, but thinking chicken. Gizmo and chicken is clicking in my head. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll change it then. That makes... Because we're still trying to figure out a rating system. That makes more sense. A mogwai that just ate after midnight. But yeah. I mean, sorry, this movie was just lackluster for me. But
Yeah.
you win some, you lose some.
I enjoyed I enjoyed the research into it. I really liked finding about Donald A. Wilhelm.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
also glad that I can pretty much say I've seen every single one of Del Toro's pictures now.
This was you haven't seen Pacific Rim.
Oh, yeah, we already covered that. Okay, well.
I called you out.
I got two more.
What you gonna do?
I got two more, and then...
I got you to play PT, so that's cool.
Yeah, and I like the strain. I just like Del Toro.
Yeah.
I think I said that enough. All right, well, thanks for...
I think we're done for the day, guys. Yeah.
Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Share.
Comment, share.
Tell us what you want. Give us suggestions for anything. You know. I mean,
Yeah, and even or even just like a double feature theme.
Yeah. Give us a theme.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And like we can try to think like do something really weird that we have to find, like we did like Wild Wild West, like
Yeah.
cowboy mixed with blank. Like
It was actually interesting because that was supposed to be the Flopbuster month,
oh yeah, and then it
and it turned into like cowboy. People just don't like cowboys anymore.
cowboy baby. All right,
All right.
this is
Kid
Tommy.
Rock. This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.